Hello. Here on How you doing, Seeking Knowledge Podcast family? Here on season 13, episode 11, I have a guest in that I'm just special. Like when I say she's special, I met her on the OWL app. Her name is Miss Greco. Like she's a hope I said your last name right. She's a TV show host, a motivational speaker, and she's a mindset and nutrition coach. I met her on the OWL app. Can y'all hear me? I met her on the OWL app. Tap into the OWL app. But this is season 13, episode 11, and I got Miss Coleen Greco in. And I'm gonna shut up. How you doing today?
Good morning. How you doing, Marcus?
I'm great.
Why did I just call you Marcus? That's crazy.
I accept that.
All good. Nothing but love, my friend. How you doing today?
No, I'm great. I'm actually just getting off. Getting off of another podcast. I was just on somebody else's podcast getting interviewed. So I'm doing good. I'm amazed. Now I'm here with you.
Oh, it's an awesome day. I'm in Boston and the sun is out, and it's like it just can't get any better than this.
I'm in Texas right now. I don't know. This weather's so crazy. One minute it be hot, it be cold. I don't know what to say about the Texas weather, but I'm enjoying life though. I'm enjoying life. It's one thing I can say. So, Miss Greco, you have a lot going on for yourself. You wanted to share a little bit about yourself to the Seeking Knowledge supporters and listeners like this. They want to know Miss Greco.
I would love to. I am Coleen Greco. Hi, everyone. I'm a joyologist, and I would bet that you've never worked with a joyologist before. I'm one of one. I'm really proud of that. And I really help people to, feel amazing in their own skin, reclaim the joy they feel is missing in their life. I do that through a variety of mindset coaching and nutrition coaching techniques, because I really do firmly believe in my heart, A, that joy is a birthright, but B, we only have, a number of days left. For some of us, it may be 3 or 5. For others, it may be 3 to 30,000, right? But either way, we have a number of days left, and I want people to maximize those days by feeling amazing in their own skin and really marching towards their true potential.
I love it because it's crazy. Like a lot of people don't even know their potential. A lot of people have potential, but they don't tap into they don't tap into it. So they just really go through life just wondering.
Yeah.
So I like the title Joyology. And you just like, how did you come up with that term? Was it something you was experiencing in life?
Yeah, I'll go through the story. I will say, trigger warning for folks listening that I did go through a trauma, and I'll go through that. But I always like to prepare people because it can feel like a bomb was dropped. But
I went through some things in life too, so I can relate to you. I went through trauma in my life since 8 years old when I got placed in foster care. So I went through it too.
Well, I appreciate that, and I think for me, we have 2 children, and about 6 years ago, one of them attempted suicide, and that was a really jarring moment, as you might imagine, in our life. We had a really hard time coping with it. We didn't have any doctors or therapists that were willing to help us because my son was 10. Nobody wants to deal with a 10-year-old attempting suicide. It's a pretty heavy topic. And so initially, I'll admit that I did not handle it well. I ate and drank up to, I think I gained about 50 pounds. And I had never really had much of a weight problem before, but I did then. And as I started to piece the moments of our life back together in order to be the best example for him and help him recover and heal, I had to do some healing myself. And so I sought the help of a nutrition coach. And as I was losing the weight, I was about 35 pounds down at this point of the story. I asked him if he was going to help me develop strategies so that I never get back to this place in my life again. Like, help me to do this once so that I can go on living the rest of my life. And he said, "I'm not your therapist." And I thought, wow, okay, well, you just gave me an idea. And so I decided this is what people need. They need to, I mean, anybody can lose weight. But in order to make that lasting change, it's all about, getting into your mind and retiring those stories that you have stuck on repeat. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'll never make enough money. Whatever the story is, everybody has them.
I
Um,
tell,
yeah,
ooh, I tell people that like your words are powerful. So when I tell people this every day, your words are powerful. So when you constantly speaking defeat over your life, I'm not good enough, I can't do this. And look, universe, I'm not speaking this over my life. I'm just sharing an example. But when people say that, they ain't doing them but creating their reality. So every time you think negative or say something negative or say I'm not good enough, that's all you're going to get results that's going to fit in showing you're not good enough.
exactly. Yeah, you wonder why it, kind of keeps happening to you because you're inviting it. And that is a tough pill to swallow when you realize, wow, if I just got out of my own way and invited all of that abundance in, what a different life I would lead. And that's exactly what happened. I started coaching. This was like 4.5 years ago when I started coaching, and the whole Joyologist term just came to me on a walk. I thought, how do I connect, nutrition coaching and mindset coaching to, a higher purpose? Like, really, the whole point is joy. I don't care if you are bikini body ready or, board short ready. I care that you live in joy. And a lot of it stems from the way we treat our bodies, the food we put in our bodies, that completely affects our mental health because it affects your hormone creation and your hormone production. So, people don't always see the connection between the terms. And so Joyology to me was kind of that umbrella term that everything I do fits under. And ultimately, I want people just embracing joy and embracing abundance at every turn because it's there for them if they invite it in.
I love it because I like how you said people don't realize, and I'm a vegetarian. I've been a vegetarian for a year, by the way. I need to become a snackatarian because I snack a lot. If that make a lot of sense. But I'm a
That's awesome.
and people don't realize the foods you eat do play something with your mental. Like I know people, like when I used to eat meat, like I used to be sluggish, like lazy, didn't want to do nothing. But now since I'm a vegetarian, I have a lot of energy. So I do agree with you. Like nutrition and mental do go in because if you put the right foods in there, the right foods that belong in there, you can think clearly. When you fill yourself with all this nonsense, you're not thinking clearly. I do agree with you and I see why the term joyology came out of this. Like mental nutrition, it all play a part. Like health is wealth.
Yeah. Well, and find me one person that doesn't want to live in joy, right? Like that is to me the ultimate goal. And when you talk about, when you were having a lot of meat, it was making you sluggish. Well, our bodies have amazing memories. And you probably thought back to a time when you were, I don't know, 15 or 25 or, maybe you haven't hit 25 yet. I shouldn't judge. But
I'm 37.
you think back.
I'm 37 years old.
How old?
I'm 37 years old.
37. Okay. Well, okay, you remember back to those days when maybe you could, eat anything you want and you think, hey, I used to be able to do this. Right. But your body changes. Your environment changes, your emotions change, all of it changes. And so we have to learn kind of like how the body operates. We have to learn about gut health, and that is your intestines. That's where your hormones are created and absorbed. And if that isn't in optimum health, all the rest of it breaks down. The things that get sent to your brain are not as efficient or not as abundant. The way that your organs operate isn't as efficient. Your sleep is disrupted. You're irritable for, whatever reason. And so it's all connected to food.
Ms. Greco, I heard you say important. Can you speak on the importance of the gut health? Because a lot of people don't know the food that they eat, it really be stored around the little gut. So I'm with a company called My Daily Choice, and they have some energy drinks. It's organic, and it's called Exitram, and it got some enzymes in there that help with your gut flora, like move all that excess. Can you speak on the importance of how the gut needs to be? Because all that backup can really harm you.
Oh yeah. I mean, so the whole digestive process requires a lot of, enzymes and a lot of other things to make sure that it works properly. Back in the day, like our parents' generation or our grandparents' generation, there weren't all of these, processed foods or additives or preservatives that our bodies don't recognize. We have that today in our foods, but we didn't back then. And so it kind of feels like it's a new movement, but that's because like the food source and the food options have changed. But
That's
as you're digesting food, the body tries to break it down, and there's only a certain amount of time to do that before it discards something as waste. And so, like, alcohol is a great example. The body sees that as poison, which technically it is, right? It doesn't know what to do with that. And so, like, let's say you had like a really healthy salad with a beer. The body doesn't treat the salad the same way as somebody who had the salad with water, because the body is trying to get rid of the beer first. It's like, that is poison. I've got to take care of this. So the salad doesn't get properly digested. And a lot of times that can get converted to sugar and stored as fat, even though it's a salad.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So it's all about, making sure, and you don't have to be perfect, and you don't have to, live in a state of lack or restriction, but you do need to take a little bit of an interest in the foods that you're consuming if
I
you
agree.
want to if you want to feel better. And if you don't, that's your choice too. But if you want to feel better, it all starts with the food, and it takes about 2 weeks in order for you to start to feel a little bit better once you have taken control of your intake, because the lining of your small intestine sheds every 7 days. So you want to get through at least one cycle and see, you will start to feel better. And so that's a lot of what I work on with clients. Some clients, it's not even weight loss, it's gut health, right? It's just understanding why they're feeling the way that they're feeling and which foods they are reacting to, because what they react to and what you react to are different.
Totally different. So
Yep.
that's why I really wanted you to speak on that, because people need to realize the gut is really, that's important. Like, and I just realized that a couple months ago when I got with the company MDC and I started taking this energy drink and how it was helping with my gut. I was like, I really feel better. Like, you like you said, you notice a change in your body. You know, when you put the right things in your body, you notice the change. So you can think clearly. Like like I said, I've been spending a whole year, Miss Greco, that I've been a vegetarian. So I have so much energy. I see the change in my body. Like, it's be times like I'm knowing I need to be sleep, but it's like the extra boost to kick in. I was like, well, I can just get this done and be ahead of the game. And so man, I love the whole journey you on. Like, as the Joyologist, I love that. Like, cause that's me. That's the first time me hearing that term, and I know you came with that term because it's basically the term Joyology represents you, because which it basically represents your story. Like, I'm gonna go through this, I'm gonna go through that, even though it's traumatic, but I'm still joyful. I'm still the Joyologist. I still want to spread joy. I love that. Now let me use a TV. Use a TV show host. Like, you want to touch a little bit on that? Checking. So we having a little technical difficulty, y'all. So but yeah, this is season 13, episode 11. This is Miss Greco. She's a TV show host, a motivational speaker.
Okay. You want to start?
So here on season 13, episode 7, we got Miss Greco, and she, she's a nutritionist, she's a TV show host. I want to touch more on that, but she's about to go into this journal she's. You want to touch that, Miss Greco?
Yeah, I'd love to. We were talking about joy being a choice and, making the choice to invite joy and abundance in. And I had this journal entry that I had posted online a few weeks ago, but I just keep coming back to it because, I don't know if I'm patting myself on my back, but I just feel like it illustrates the point really well. And I said, when faced with a challenge, a trigger, which is what I call that feeling when you're like, oh, that I'm getting wound up about something. I call it a trigger. A trigger, when you're faced with a challenge or a trigger, always choose what feels lighter. What if I could see the scenario in another way? What if I could love myself and others through it rather than be frustrated? What if frustration was actually poison? Same with sadness and disappointment. Those things kill humans, but love makes it all grow and be vibrant. Do I want to grow or die? Do I want to have abundance or scarcity? Do I want things to feel light or heavy, bright or dark, anger or joy, happiness or sadness, good fortune or bad, possibilities or problems, color or black and white, flavor or no taste, smiles or frowns, healing or hurting? It's all a choice. Don't take the bait. And the whole point of, writing that was to remind myself, even though I've been doing this for years, you still get caught off guard. You still feel, sometimes attacked or triggered about something. But the truth of the matter is, it's all a choice, right? I live in Boston and I have 2 dogs. And right now it's really cold. And when I take them out for a walk, I can choose to focus on the fact that I'm freezing, or I can look at it and say, look at how cute they are. They're looking, they're chasing after that squirrel or looking at that bird. And I can find the joy in the moment versus the negativity. They're both true. They're both happening at the same time, but my energy can only go in one direction. So where do I want that to be?
I love it. Like, people don't research your energy. How you want your energy to be negative or positive. And I tell people, like, man, that's like you said, like, you gotta be in the moment. Like, you can either focus on the negative, what you think negative, or you can focus on what the positive. And I love how you gave an analogy of you with your dog, even though it's cold, but you focusing on the moment. Like, and that'd be for me, like, nature, like the surroundings, the trees, the birds. Like, I don't know, birds be out there. It's cold, but yeah, they still out. They still hanging out.
they're still out there. Not as many of them.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah, you're totally right. It's a choice of where you want your energy to go. And yes, it's cold. That's a fact. But I don't need to pile onto that fact. I can pile onto this fact over here that actually adds value to my day, makes me feel better, makes me happier, gives me more joy. And that's that abundance mindset versus the I'm freezing, I'm tired, I'm cranky, I'm whatever. That's the scarcity mindset. And so part of what I do is push people towards that abundant mindset because they're both there. You're just choosing the other one.
The mindset, the abundance mindset. See, and I say this because a lot of people know. I asked this question to somebody. I was like, "Do you think pretty is a mindset?" He said, "No." I asked somebody else. They said, "Yeah." I said, "Correct," because you can like this, like cultural reality with your mind. So you can choose to be happy or sad with the thought you think. You can think of rich or poor. You can think yourself abundance life or poverty life with your thoughts. So I tell people, like you said, they go back to what you said about the whole nutrition thing. You gotta eat healthy. You gotta eat right so you can function right. Like, do you think you're gonna eat a fries and a burger and say you should go run a marathon? No, it's not gonna happen.
Exactly right. Yeah, it's all about how you fuel yourself. And so, and it's setting the right expectations too. I love the analogy you just used about the food. right? So you want to do this high endurance event called a marathon, yet you're going to put junk in your body. So what are you expecting your body to do? It's going to operate like junk because that's what you've given it. If you put the right fuel in there, you can run a marathon. I've run one, not sure I'll do it again. I'm still on the fence about that. But, it's very
Congratulations on that, though.
well, there was some crawling, some crying, some like pleading to stop. But
Look,
yeah.
you did it. Look,
Yep.
I had the opportunity to get in one when I was married with my ex-sister. She ran, but when she got to saying the story how people been running, losing the toenails and knees, all that, I was like, I don't think I want to do this. You just made a bad taste of that, man.
Well, let me tell you what, I had back, you remember the show The Biggest Loser? Did you ever watch that show?
Yes,
Yeah.
I remember this.
So Rudy, one of the beloved, people on the show, there's always like some character that people attach themselves to really well. Rudy was one of them. He's from somewhere in the South. I forget where, Alabama, maybe. And oh my gosh, he was right behind me like the entire time. It was like I couldn't get rid of him. And he had, I don't know, 4 or 5 trainers with him. And my husband kept saying, because my husband started running with me at mile 10 and never left my side because I needed so much help. He's like, Rudy's catching
Shout
up.
out to your husband.
Oh, please. I know he is a saint. He did that with no training. He hopped in and just hung in there with me because I needed him. How amazing is that? But he kept saying, Rudy's right behind you. Rudy, he's catching up. He's right behind you. I'm like, no, he's not. And I just keep going harder and harder. It was so funny. But, but yeah, but there's another illustration. Like I completed a marathon. There's, 1% of the world's population has ever attempted or completed a marathon. Or, I can look at it as, wow, it took me longer than I expected. And it was a really hot day. No, I choose to say I completed a marathon. The reality is it wasn't as fast as I wanted it to be, but in Boston, it's never 92 degrees in April. So like it was just a weird day. So
First time for everything. And like I said, you was a 1%er. Cause I
yeah.
don't know if anybody else in your family did it, but you did. And like I said, I'm a 1%er. I don't know if anybody in my family ever decide to be a vegetarian, decide to be a podcast, decide to write books. I don't know. So people look at like being a 1%er as a bad thing, but it's a good thing because you're not following the masses. You're doing what you want to do, and you're not doing what everybody else think you should do. So kudos to you. I'm gonna give you your flowers for running that marathon. I just backed out of. I ain't gonna lie for. I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. I don't want to use my toenails, and it's funny about losing the toenails. I actually had to have surgery. Now one of my toenails gone, but it ain't come from running no marathon. So that's my inside.
Well, earlier we were talking about like people, wanting to do things. And I firmly believe if there is something that you really want to do, that's your body's way of saying that's coming for you in the future. Dreams to me are out there and they're on our way towards us. It's our job to invite it in. And so I firmly believe that. And I encourage your listeners, if there's something they really want to do, they can. They just have to take the first step and put those pieces in place. Maybe adjust their mindset a little bit, maybe not. Their mindset might be fine, but they can absolutely achieve the life that they want. It just takes taking that first step.
And I tell people that I say that all the time to my listeners and to just people I meet in life. I tell everybody, like I hear people say, like I don't get me wrong, I work at a gas station too, Miss Greco. I'm customer service. And I heard people say like they just waking up. Like it's like 2:00, 3. I'm just getting up, getting my day started. Like I'm like, bruh, sis, I've been up since like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. working on my business now. Now I'm here. Like, and I say to say this, that's you be wasting time. You gotta use your time wisely. If you take that first step by changing the way you think, then you start using your time wisely, it all goes in. Like you start thinking right. Like if you can think clearly, you'll know how to use your time wise. You'll know how to run plays wise. That's why you gotta really watch what you eat so you can think clearly. But I'm looking at people like bro, you just waking up. Like, you know how much stuff I done got done and you just waking up?
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think, I love how you brought the food back in too, because not I'm not here to just push like a healthier lifestyle, but pushing possibilities. And when you don't feel great, when your gut health isn't in check, you can't even see the possibilities. But once you start to get that all, when I like to call in alignment, the
I got you.
possibilities are it's like you can taste them all of a sudden. Like you can see them, and maybe you can't see all the steps to get there, but it's there. You're meant for more. That dream is close to
Out
becoming
there.
a reality. It's out there, but it's out there for you. And that's the thing, is like when you're sick, which is what people are when their gut health isn't in check. When you're sick, you just, you're sluggish, you're tired, you can never get enough sleep, you don't want to work out. But after you start to get your gut health in check, you start to look at things differently, and you're like, maybe I
Yeah.
could run a mile, or maybe I want to get on the bike or learn how to swim or do something, physically, and you don't have to, go join a gym and work yourself out to death. But I always encourage people, work out because you want your mental health to improve. That is the point of working out. It's there to create
Ooh.
red blood cells. They go straight to your brain. They produce serotonin, which is the feel good hormone. That's why you work out. Food,
And people
sorry,
need to know that. I'm glad you touched on that because people need to know working out is not just a physical thing, it's more a mental thing.
it's 100% mental. Yes. And I know I have so many clients that'll be like, I just need to join a gym. And I'm like, all right, can we just get your food in check first? Because you've heard the saying that you can't outrun a bad diet, and that is true. So, you're
Mm.
putting garbage in, you're not going to get very far. And by the way, after a few days or weeks, you're going to hate it because you feel like it's punishment. But if you do it
Mm.
from a place of joy, like I love to run, I love, like spin classes. I don't ride my bike outside because I'm confident somebody would like run me over. But if, I like to do spin classes and stuff, and I love to do weights, but that's because it makes me feel good. It's not because I think I'm going to be jacked or, have like a shredded six pack. Those things happen because of food. The working out is 100% mental. It's 100%, there to tax your, cardiovascular system, which is your heart and lungs, so that they operate better, so that they can tolerate these things that you're asking them to do. So yeah, I get really passionate about fitness.
I
But
already know, me too, because the health is wealth. And I understand, like I said, I'm a snackatarian, but for the most part, I have been connecting with the right people to get the healthy snacks that I really need. Cause
mhm.
I love to snack, Miss Greco. I
Yeah,
love to snack.
I know. And my
But
husband loves it. He'll snack while he's making dinner or something like that. And he just does it mindlessly. And he doesn't realize that's an extra 300 to 400 calories every time he does it.
but,
And
but Miss Greco,
also,
can I please
yes,
say
sir.
something? But look,
Yeah.
but the funny thing about it, you know how people just snack. Like I've been a vegetarian for a year or so, and I read and heard somebody say that you really put a go to the bathroom and let the waste out of you like 3 or 4 times a day. I don't know if that was somebody that's been funny, but I think that's true because whatever you put in that it don't sit right, it's gonna eventually come out. So it's like when I snack, it's like I'm not like a couch potato. I got a digital weight. I just weighed myself. I'm 195. I'm
Wow.
not overweighted, fat, none of that. Like I still can move around. I still can go outside. Me 37, I still can go outside and play basketball and hang with the best of them. I still can get around. So I snack a lot, but it ain't like I'm just like a couch potato and can't get around and oh look at you nutty professor son. No, I'm not.
Now, for the ladies out there, I do have to say, no shade to DeMarcus, okay? He has testosterone, we don't. And so he does have an advantage that we don't have. But
Yes, I
yeah,
agree.
Because I'll have male clients that like drop 10 pounds in the first week. And I'm like, oh, every woman in America hates you for that. It's because of your testosterone. But yeah, generally speaking, if you're going to snack, that's fine. I have snacks, but I make sure that they fit into my plan so that,
Gotcha.
I don't lose sight of things. But that mindless snacking, man, that can get you into some trouble.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They said that mindless snack, you just want to snack because you see it, like.
Yeah. You're like, oh, that's cute. Yep.
Right. Think about it when you get had that little problem in that gut, or you see that little extra weight right there. You don't think it ain't gonna be cute none. Then, but yeah. Now I met you on the Owl app, and I did some research. It say you was a TV show host.
Yeah.
You wanna
Yeah.
share details, or you wanna touch on that
Yeah.
title of that hat?
Yeah. I'd love to. So my show is it's a TV show and a podcast. It's called Joy Unleashed. And it can be found on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, Roku, my YouTube channel, which is at the Coleen Greco, and then all the major podcast channels. I think I'm not as far along as you, but I have like 20 episodes, I think, that have dropped. One is dropping today. So I can't remember if I'm like at 19 or 21, but I'm right around 20, and then have another probably 5 or 10 ready to go. But yeah,
Yes,
it's all about joy. It's all about, authenticity, compassion, kindness, grace. Everything I do is in a judgment-free zone. So I just like, to hear people's stories and hear how joy has either found them, through, like we were talking about before, trauma or tragedy, where they've been able to, rise above and change, the narrative that they're operating under. And some people are like experts in the field and they just provide more like educational type of content, but it's really fun. I've really enjoyed it. And it's kind of become the highlight of my week. So I love
I
it. It's
love
called
it.
Joy Unleashed.
I'm definitely need to tap in. Like I'm definitely gonna tap in. Like this, because joy. We all need to be joyful. Like, and I tell people, unleash your joy even when you in a negative situation. See how I tie that in? Unleash your joy even when you in a negative situation. Because sometimes you in that situation to test you and to bring that joy out of you. It's just how you respond. And I heard Bob Proctor say this in one of the interviews. Shout out to Bob Proctor. He was a good mindset coach. He said somebody interviewing him, and he was like, "So if you driving your car and you get stuck on the side of the road," he was like, "You still got to see the negative, the positive in that situation. It's a reason why that probably happened. Maybe it's a delay because something about to happen where you're on your way to, so you need that delay. But you got to see the joyful. You got to unleash the joy in all
Yeah.
situations. And that's something I had to learn because me going through foster care. And by the way, I'm gonna touch on what you said. Like I think did you mention something about suicide or? But
Yeah.
like I just want to say this because like I don't know why I'm touching on this because the reason why I'm so joyful is I'm full of joy and passion because the life I went through, like me going through foster care and life, like I experienced life. That's why I consider myself the voice of the people. I consider myself the hope dealer. I'm the voice of all people. Whatever your ethnicity is, I'm the voice of all the people. But I had to start unleashing joy in my life, even though I went through so much negative situations that could have like really made me give up in life. But I love it though. Like unleashing joy, I'm definitely gotta tap into that because everybody needs some joy. Everybody need to be joyful. And you a joyologist. Like I never heard of that. Like, so that's the title of this is the joyology.
I love it. No, you're absolutely right. And everybody has a story. Some have many, some have like one major thing that happened to them. But the amazing thing is it's what made you who you are today. It had to happen in order for you to get where you are today. And there might be another story waiting for you in your future, also planned for you. So, there was the suicide attempt was my son, and it was about 6 years ago. And there was a phrase in a book by Joel Osteen called Blessed in the Darkness. And the phrase was, trouble is your transportation. And I held on to that phrase, and I have repeated that phrase, I don't know how many millions of times, to just hold on, because better days are ahead. And these are just tests. They're just tests of my resilience and of my strength and of my ability to love. And if I love my way through it, which is the decision we made to help him heal, we are going to love the hell out of him and get him back to optimum health. And that's what we did. And he is, I love to say, he is annoying me like a 17-year-old boy should now, right? He's awesome. And I'm so grateful that that's where he is. But it's because we wrapped him in love and joy, and just, we wouldn't let go. And I could never have imagined that he would be where he is today. He had an entire year where not one friend reached out to him after the suicide attempt. It was an entire year. And for a 10-year-old, 10 and 11, that's major. They have play dates every 5 minutes. So that was really hard for him. But again, we were like, but we can have fun together, and we're going to teach you like how to have fun and love the skin that you're in. Like, you don't really, need gobs and gobs of friends. You just need a few people that love you unconditionally, and we will get you through this. And so, I don't know your past about foster care and maybe some other things that you've been through, but I know that they were supposed to happen to get you exactly where you are today. And for that, I'm grateful.
I agree with you on it. Like, it's supposed to happen. And speaking of what's supposed to happen, like, I know you heard Miss Greco said that she had a son who dealt with suicidal thoughts. I dealt with suicide thoughts. But you know how you can overcome that? By going on Amazon right now, putting my name in, DeMarcus Brewster, or you typing From the Hood to the Church, and you grab my book, which is the sponsor of this podcast, by the way. You grab my book, From the Hood to the Church, and you think you can't overcome none in life? Read that story and watch how you change your view, and watch how you start living a joyful life. But back to this message. Is there anything else you want to share, Miss Greco? Because you spoke on your TV show host, you spoke on you being a nutritionist, the mindset. You got so many. No. Use a motivational speaker.
Yeah.
Use it. We got to touch on that. Then I'll let you go.
No, I just want people to just take a look at their life a little bit differently, rather than what they don't have or should have had if it weren't for this other person, or, fill in the blank. Everybody has that story that they have had on repeat. What if we just looked at it a little bit differently and started to see the art of what is possible? And that's what I really want to leave people with, that you can have the life that you want. It just starts with owning where you are. And there's nothing wrong with where you are. It may not be ideal, but you woke up today. That's a huge lesson for everybody to anchor to. Like, I get to do this today. I get to be alive. And, and if you can't see the beauty in your own life, step outside, because there's a ton of it there. And that, I promise you, can get you through anything. It's, I like to refer to that as joy in the smallest of moments. Looking at the birds and how they're, flying around like crazy. You can find joy in that.
Just hearing the birds talk, Miss Greco, like, that's their communication. That's their form of language. What they be doing, that's beautiful. Like, wake up hearing that, like the nature, like hearing the bees buzzing, like, and it's funny, like, that's why you're the joyologist. But it's funny, like, people say bees are bad. No, bees only feel threatened. They attack when they feel threatened. Like, I be going in nature, Miss Greco, and I open my hand, and a bee will come land on my hand and just walk on my hand and fly away.
Yeah. I did that with coyotes. I did that with coyotes earlier this year. There was a huge coyote going down the street, and I have, my dogs are like 20 pounds. They're not big. And I got completely freaked out, and I wouldn't go out for probably 2 weeks. I made my husband take them after dark. And then I finally said, you know what? You're crazy. That's their home that I am invading. And
we can coexist as long as I don't threaten him. He's not going to threaten, or her. They're not going to threaten me. And so again, it's mindset shift. And so you'll continually catch yourself, but if you start to, direct your energy towards things that feel lighter, things that feel easier or happier, you'll start to realize you can carve a completely different life for yourself overnight.
I do agree. Miss Greco, thank you for hanging out with me, the host of Seeking Knowledge Podcast. It's an amazing podcast. Thank you for hanging out on season 13. Is there anything you would like to share with my listeners, like a gem dropper, anything that they need to hear before you get off here? Anything?
Well, I want to make sure they're subscribing to your podcast, because seeking knowledge is exactly where it's at. And thank you for all the work that you're doing, because I think it's amazing and I think it's so necessary, and you're inspiring and changing people's lives as we speak. So bravo to you and thank you for that. And then I would just say, don't put things off. Start today. Make small, tiny changes, and you will be amazed at how they stack up over time to become these massive shifts in your life. And all it takes is that first step.
The first step, Chris. And I'm going to leave you with this. Y'all are not failures because y'all fall. Y'all are failures when y'all fall and stay down there. But until next time.